guys, my friend, her dad just passed away, and yeah, so I just went outside to get some goodies, comfort food, you know, because my friend, she likes cheesecake, and although, you know, it's not part of the protocol, you know, junk food, it's all junk food with sugar inside. But you know, you have to make an exception. You know, she's sometimes maybe to comfort the brain and make you feel a bit chilled out, relaxed. You need to, you know, do something you ordinarily wouldn't do. Yeah. Although she knew this time was coming. Still very difficult, you know, so now, I mean, at least now she doesn't have maybe the worry of her father, you know, being ill and stuff. Well, he was in a care home, he had dementia, I mean, that's what he had, but that in itself is you can call it a terminal illness, you know, because you ain't coming back. Usually you ain't coming back from that, and it ends up, you know, okay, that's all right. I'm just not used to parking because I don't so, yeah, I'm not used to parking because we live in the countryside, so just drive in and turn left or right and just park. And when you have to park between other cars, parked cars, oh god, what's going on here? Obviously this will go off unless I have the light on. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So my friend now, I'll switch this one up instead. So yeah, I have to be close to her now because it's the first few days. He just passed away a few hours ago, 2 hours I think, and she just got the call. I remember when my dad passed away, I was gone for 4 days. I thought about self-deletion after the 4th day. I was hugging onto trees and stuff, and nobody really you know, it gave me a hug, and I didn't have people around me that were like that, and that's why I thought about self-deleting after 4 days. I was hugging onto trees, I was crying for my dad. And I remember when my dad, you know, I used to say "Papà è mio," means daddy is mine. I used to say that to a girl that my parents were looking after. And so when my dad used to come back home, her name was Cecilia, she used to run for the door and say, "Papà è mio." And I used to get angry and I used to run in front of her. I said, "No, papà è mio. Daddy is mine." So then in those days when my dad passed away, I just hugged because papà è mio means daddy is mine, but papà mio means my daddy, my Papà mio means like my dad kind of gets lost in translation a little bit. You lose it doesn't actually mean daddy is mine or daddy mine. It means daddy mine, daddy of mine or something. That it just means I was basically crying and saying dad, my dad, papà mio, daddy mine. Yeah, I was messed up those first few days. And I think what messed me up is I'm quite emotional, maybe some people don't feel emotional, maybe they don't show that emotion, but I do. And so I think the way I can help her is to be there with her and give her hugs and say everything is going to be okay. Don't say anything actually. Just give her a hug, and like nobody gave me a hug really. No one. I was left to my own hell. My wife, she's just not that kind of person. Not because she's mean, but she's just not that kind of person. She's not that character. So I did in the past, but I won't. I don't hold it against her. It's just she's not like that. She's not hot, warm blooded. She's like a reptile. Yeah, but she does things her own way. She shows her like care in her own way by doing things instead of showing emotion. I think all I needed was a hug, like every day a hug, and just to someone to hold on to, because you become like a baby, like a child. You just need some warmth, some another human being just to hug you and say you're okay, or even as I said, not say anything. So I'll be close to her now for a few days. I'm staying here for a few days anyway, and in a way, lucky it happened now because I'm going to stay here for a few days. I just arrived earlier, so I've got a few days with her just to be with her and make sure she isn't alone. Yeah, there's nothing much you can do, is there? What can you do? I can't say anything. I don't know what to say. Yeah, sorry, of course. But also, I've gone out just to give her some space as well. So she's on her own. She can cry. She can pray. She can make phone calls. I don't know what to do. There's a kind of English way. There's an Italian way. The English way is like maybe more reserved. The Italian way is to go fucking nuts. Italian way is to bawl, cry, hug, cry. People come around, make food for you or whatever, cry again. Like fucking hell, it's more intense. But I don't know, in the English traditional family or culture, maybe it's more reserved. Of course, there's crying, but so I have to play it by ear and see, what she wants. But also, I can't take my focus away from her healing, so I have to get back onto the plan. I know cheesecake is not good, but just for tonight, just she can have that just as comfort food, and crisps. And then, but she did eat well today, salads and everything. So maybe we can incorporate some meditation or visualization. Just a basic visualization, visualizing a white light coming into her body and healing her, and just staying with this white light and praying to God and giving thanks for her healing, things like that. Bloody hell. I suppose, she says she knew it was coming, but still, when it comes, it's not good. So that's it, really. What do? You just continue. I'll do what I can. I did have, people think it's a load of bollocks, but a week ago, I was doing the washing in her house, and I had this, like, not kind of half visualization, half I heard something, and it was her dad saying, "Look after my daughter." And I, as a reply, I joked and I said, "I need someone to look after me. Look at me. I'm in some ways worse off than she is." And that's the stupid conversation that I had in my brain. It's a kind of visualization that I had. It was funny, and so I said to her, maybe we can go and see your dad, or maybe you should go and see your dad, because I had this kind of strange visualization, when I was washing up. Yeah, and that was last week, less than a week. Maybe on some level we can contact each other. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I just thought of that, and and it came to pass that he passed away after a week. He didn't say come and see me. He said look after my daughter. And so I can do the best that I can and try and make her survive. It's not try and make her survive. I think she will, because for her type of cancer, TNBC, triple negative breast cancer, and the staging it's about, I did research, it's about like 65 to 72%. You know, the prognosis of being remission is 70, is about 65 to 72%. So within 5 years, you know, survival, so basically cure is 65 to 72. But if, you know, my way of thinking is once I add things on top of that, this protocol that we're doing, I can bump that up to 80, 90 plus, hopefully. So I want to just try and make, you can't ever be 100% sure, but I want it to be as close as to 99% or whatever as I can. So we'll have to see. You know, she might not be able to take chemotherapy much longer because it is tough. The first 12 weeks were easy compared to this second lot. She has to take one, there's one chemotherapy agent or whatever it is, some chemical, that it's red. And if it goes onto your skin, it burns. What the fuck is that? So that goes inside your veins or whatever. It's called the ruby, not Rubicon. I don't know what the hell it's called. Ruby, like red, something to do with red. Fucking hell. And then they inject anti-sickness medication at the end, immunotherapy as well. Fucking hell, that's a lot of stuff for the body to deal with. And apparently, like, there was a guy next to her the last time she did the chemo. He was shaking and he had a bad reaction. Fuck's sake. And, like, you know, the curtains were all closed, and fucking, you can have a bad reaction. And this stuff is serious. Chemotherapy is serious. It's not something to be taken lightly. So in my mind, I'm thinking I can't tell her to stop the chemo, but I'm also worried if she continues with it. At what point? Where's the tipping point where chemo causes irreparable damage or secondary cancers? At which point do you stop? I can't tell her to stop because I'm not a doctor, but I can't. I don't want to see her get hurt. At what point? You know, she has to know, I suppose, that this is killing me or this is hurting me so much. I'm stopping now. I pray that I know. I was going to say when to intervene, but I'm no one to intervene. But somehow I have to. I want to see when there is a danger point. There's a, you know, they've got oncologists there. There's a load of bollocks. She was feeling really ill one day. You know, she was feeling like she doesn't want to live anymore. Like she's not going to wake up in the morning. Like serious psychological symptoms. She rang up. She rang up and nobody fucking answered. Another time she rang up, I think, and someone was going to get back to her. They didn't. So you're supposed to be, it's supposed to be at the end of a phone call, like an emergency phone call, and nobody fucking answers. Because, you know, some people might say, well, he has to contact the oncologist. Yeah. The team. And they weren't even there. And emergencies won't wait for, they won't wait for like Monday to Friday within certain time. She could have an emergency Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, or whatever. And there's supposed to be someone there, but she rang and nobody answered so many times. So there might be a point where those specialists aren't there. Then what do you do? Yeah, well, anyway, that's the situation at the moment. Oh, man. I feel like praying because I can't do anything on my own. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I went to see my dad, was it last week? After a long time I hadn't seen him. What was it, a few weeks ago? I hadn't gone to see my dad for a year and a bit, even though he's buried close to where I live, because I didn't want to go and because the tombstone hasn't been done yet. So as soon as I sell the house, I'm going to get that done. You know, my cousin said to me, why don't you go and see your dad? You know, you feel at peace. Yeah, at peace. When I go and see my dad, everything comes back. I feel bad, not at peace. I think my dad is under there, or his remains are under there. You know, how can that bring me peace? I just don't understand people that say, oh, he's gone to a better place. How the fuck do you know? I know. Again, no proof, nothing. It's just, blind faith. Where the fuck do we go? The white tunnel, the golden light. Do we actually go home? There's no proof, is there? They're just ideas. And what one person said, many people said, yeah, the white light could be neurological, neurological thing, electrical impulses in the brain, and you see this white light as the brain starts to distort. So I don't know, it sees something, and or is it real? Is there another dimension there? Like you go home to God? Who knows? Who knows? You have to think about this stuff. Do more alchemy, internal and external. The practical alchemy, and then more spiritual. And maybe I'll know. So, have you guys know what comes after this life, if anything? The atheists will say there's nothing, and then the religious or more spiritual ones say, oh yeah, there's heaven, or there's a light. But nobody actually knows. Everyone is in the same boat, and they just have their opinions and views, but no one's ever gone there and come back and said, oh, this is what it's like. And that's what those near-death experiences, in a sense, they're all fake. There is no near death. When my dad passed away, before he passed away, he was on his deathbed. So I was looking online to see if there's any miraculous deathbed, like you come back from a deathbed. You don't. There was one occasion, this lady was on a deathbed. She wasn't really on a deathbed, because once the physiological process of death starts, there's no going back. Your body is breaking, is shutting down. The brain, everything is shut. There's a process of shutdown, and there's no. Well, I'm not a scientist. I don't know medical, but I don't think there's a way of coming back. What you see is like, I don't know, someone having an operation, then something happening, or they have a crash, and their heart beats, and they are dead for about 10 minutes or a few minutes, but they're not dead. There's a difference between suddenly getting into a crash and your heart stops beating, so you're technically dead, and so your brain, tries to make sense of this, and you go out of your body and see stuff, but you're not actually dead. I mean, the process of death hasn't started. You've been catapulted into a place suddenly, and yes, maybe you would die if you didn't get any medical intervention. So I suppose, yeah, you can call it near-death experience, yeah, but it's not the same as someone being on a deathbed, the doctor saying, okay, end of life. The body is going through a certain process now, and somebody being involved in an accident and their heart stops for a few minutes or whatever. I don't know. I don't think it's the same. It's not the same, because there's no coming back from end of life situation, but there is with near death, because massage your heart or whatever, and then you come back to life. Yeah, I suppose it is really bad. It is near death, but it's not the same as being the body going through the process of actual death, which can take days or whatever, weeks maybe. So once you cross that tipping point, there's no coming back. Whereas in NDEs, near-death experiences, there is a coming back. Of course there's a coming back, otherwise all these guys wouldn't make all these videos. Like, there's hundreds of people, thousands of people, all saying that they had near-death experiences, and yet they're alive. My dad didn't come back, and those people that are on their deathbeds are not coming back, because once they go down, there's nothing to bring them back that way. No drug, nothing. Well, that I know of, anyway. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling as usual. I'm gonna go back inside and give her a hug and make some tea, have a cheesecake, crisps, and maybe watch a movie, horror movie, or maybe not a horror movie, Man About the House, yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that's the situation at the moment. Yeah, sorry guys, it's not good news, but that's what's happening in my life and her life at the moment. Yeah, I've given her some time that she can cry. She maybe doesn't want to cry in front of me, so give her some time to pray or be alone while I'm talking to you guys. see you guys in the next video. Bye. Sorry, love yourself and each other, and yeah, and nothing else to say really. I'm sorry. See you guys in the next video. Bye.